Hey guys, welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. Don here. I want to talk a little bit today about this whole struggle of trying to make my first information product. And, probably the biggest reason is I don't have much time in terms of doing this because I'm busy seeing patients like you guys are. But I want to do it, and I've kind of messed up in the past with trying to make these products. I've tried different ones in the past and I haven't gotten anywhere. And so I just want you guys to know that when you're trying to make something, I hope you can learn from my mistakes. You might want to make a product for like plantar fasciitis or something else, or maybe even practice management. That's fine. I know for those that ever have done a product, it takes a lot of work. And there's a couple of different membership sites that you can use. One is called Thinkific. That was one I used in the past. And there's Podia, which kind of sounds like podiatry, and they have a way you can make a product. I'm using something called Kajabi right now. So let me kind of walk you through my struggle. Okay, so I started this first product, I would say, probably when I started working with Jim with podiatry growth. And what I did is I made a whole bunch of slides on a topic. This is this webinar thing that's the first product that I'm actually finishing up here. So I did the webinar, and I made the slides, and I got this whole idea of the framework from Russell Brunson. That's what I got the idea of the framework for, and I kind of used his whole webinar thingy. And you just pretty much walk people through it. So I've done, I don't know, maybe, I think we just scheduled another one on hallux limitus in November, and so we've done a whole bunch of these with the office, and basically I've done them multiple times, and I'm teaching you guys the framework of how to do it so you can get the benefits of it and even go beyond that. And it's been kind of a cool thing for the office. It's given us a lot of content. We're working on repurposing it for different things, and that's what I'm teaching you in this first course. So I made the initial video. I think it was it took me 2 hours to record it. So I made all the slides, and then I did the video, and then months passed. Why? Well, it's because you have to do the next step, and I didn't know how to do it. I didn't want to do it because I don't like all this other stuff, this back editing and stuff like that. So I gave it to Jim. And then Jim didn't do it. And if Jim's listening to this. And so then what happened is he did eventually cut up the pieces. So I was going to say, oh, Jim, let's just sell this like a 2-hour video. He said, Don, no one's going to watch a 2-hour video. And he's probably right. And so he cut it up into different segments and made a whole bunch of different chapters, and then he put links in there, and that's what the course turned out to be. Now, that was the course, but it wasn't quite done. And then this always quite done when months and months and months went by. And then eventually I said, gosh, I've been learning a lot in this thing that I've been doing called Strategic Coach about who, not how. And so the things I really don't like to do are this copyright writing and stuff like that. I like the technology stuff, but all this copywriting and writing these emails and trying to sales letters and stuff like that. I wanted to find a who that was their unique ability. So the key is, and this is something that's taken me a long time and I've messed up a lot. You tend to think, can I do something? Like, for example, can I schedule my own trips? Yes, I can. Am I okay at it? Yes, I am, but it's not really my unique ability. There's this woman named Sally, and I pay her like $30, and she does all my scheduling of my flights. Even though I can do it, it just kind of distracts me, especially when you have limited time. And my time is better used seeing patients currently. And so I found Karina. So Karina, she writes copy. And I said, Karina, let's do something called a joint venture. So what we did is I said to her, okay, you write all the copy, I'll put all the content down, and we'll divide it 50-50. And so that's what we did. And she wrote me, if you look at it, so I'll put a little link underneath here if you guys want to do it. You can get the first, it's called a lead magnet. Basically, you put your email in, and you will get this initial what stuff I use to do webinars. And you could get the same thing by just listening to all these podcast episodes, but that's only for the faithful few that actually listen to them all. And so you're going to get that. You're going to get that lead magnet. Then you're going to get a series of 3 emails. And I'd like you to read them because she wrote them pretty well. And basically they start with a story. And the key is always like storytelling, kind of telling a story and then going back into showing the benefit of the webinar. And then it'll have a link to the webinar purchase page. So we picked a random price. At least at this recording, it's $169. It might go up, but why $169? Well, I figured, like, gosh, for even just for the 4 PowerPoints that I give you for the webinar, even if you don't do anything else, it's worth that much. How much time it took me to put this together and figure it out and stuff like that. But if you actually do it, even if you brought in that would be maybe what, 2/3 of a patient, one patient, it'd be way worth it. Okay, that's why I figured out the price. And I just kind of figured, well, if it's 2 hours, I'm thinking like $100 an hour. That's kind of what I was thinking about. So a 5-hour class would be about $500 and things like that. That's kind of just my mindset. And then she did that, and then I got bogged down again. Okay, because then I had to figure out, how in the world am I going to get this out to the list? So there's a couple ways of doing it. I'm going to be sending it out to all you guys via an email, right? I'm going to write a little email, say, hey, get this download. When you do that download, it's kind of cool within Kajabi. It'll add a tag to your name, and then it'll start that 3 email sequence trying to sell the product. Okay. I'm also going to talk about it in my weekly newsletter, my Podiatry Practice Mastery newsletter. And we'll see how it goes. I'll give you guys the results. But the thing is done, and then you have to tweak it, because the hard thing is when you make something, it's hard to really kind of check it and see what people think or get feedback. So that's kind of, it's been a long process. You think it's something easy of just like recording a PowerPoint. It's really not. And then the hard part, frankly, is putting yourself out there. And I keep thinking, like, what happens if everyone thinks it's crap? What happens if they don't like it? What happens if they're not willing to do the work to do it, or they don't like all this technology? So what may need to happen is and that's why I offer it in there as like a strategy session, so I can work with people, work with you guys. Hey, let's set up your first webinar. I'll give you the slides. I'll help you set it up, and Calendly and things like that, because that's what I want. I want people to succeed and get all the benefits from these webinars. So anyway, that's the whole process of this webinar creation process. You'll be getting a couple of emails if you are part of my list. And if you're not part of the list, I'll put a link underneath here so you can get that free download and then get those emails in the sequence. Okay, guys? Okay. Have a great one.